Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. That should be like a motto to just like live by in life. Okay, like I'm gonna start living by that motto. All right, I'm gonna put it on my car. Like I'm gonna tattoo it on my body. Like that's it. Like that's just my motto. All right, and so badass. Anyway, guys, what's up? It is Autobot Mike 18 here, back with another one of my old movie reviews, guys. We are in August, okay? I only do my old movie reviews in the summer, so I am trying to pump out as many old movie reviews as I can within the next few weeks before I have to go back to school. And also, I'm trying to catch up on like a lot of classic movies I still haven't seen because I'm with a lot of filmmakers, alright? And they've all seen all these movies, so I need to see all these movies. You guys know what I'm saying? I think you do. So guys, yes, I have another old movie review today, and this is for a sequel that so many of you have been requesting me to watch ever since I watched the first movie of this franchise last summer, and that was for the first time, by the way. Everyone was begging me to see the sequel, and I finally did, and of course, guys, the movie I'm going to be reviewing in this video is The Godfather Part 2. That's right, guys, The Godfather Part 2. I have finally sat down and watched this entire 3-hour and 20-minute movie. That's right, The Godfather Part 2 is probably the longest movie I've ever watched. That's awesome. But yeah, this movie is, wow, there's a lot going on in this movie. But I was nevertheless so highly anticipating watching Godfather Part 2, especially because of this movie right here, the first Godfather. As you can tell by the poster behind me, yeah, I really love the first Godfather. That's just like the perfect movie. Okay, like everything worked with that movie. There is nothing wrong with the first Godfather. Nothing. Okay, that's why it's hanging up on my wall. It's one of the best movies ever made. So yeah, I was naturally looking forward to the sequel. And this time the film was released 2 years after the first Godfather, back in 1974. And it is also directed by the director of the first Godfather, and that is Francis Ford Coppola. And when the film was released in '74, I believe that it was nominated for multiple Oscars and ended up taking home several big ones. Best Supporting Actor, Best Director, yet again for Oh no, this is the first time Coppola won it. He did not win for the first Godfather. And then Best Picture, of course, becoming the first sequel to ever win an Oscar. This movie made history, and it is also widely regarded as one of the best sequels of movie history. And it is also regarded by some as the greatest sequel of all time, and some even regard it as being better than the first movie. Can you believe that? The Godfather Part 2 being better than the first movie? Like, of course I was dying to see this movie. So guys, let's get into the plot behind The Godfather Part 2. And the thing that I love so much about this movie is that it's really not just a straightforward sequel to The Godfather. It's really a prequel sequel to The Godfather. Because this movie has two different stories that we're following throughout the entire runtime. And of course, the main story we're following is the sequel to the first Godfather, in which we find our main protagonist, Michael Corleone, who is now taking over as the new Don, of course, being played by Mr. Al Pacino. And he is trying to, yet again, extend the family business. He's being involved with lots of deals going on in Nevada and Cuba, mainly throughout the entire movie. You know, trying to establish the business, you know, keep the business thriving, the family business thriving. But more importantly, he is trying to find out who in the hell betrayed him in this movie. Because there is a scene early on in which somebody betrays him, tries to do something very, very wrong. That's all I'm going to say. I do not want to spoil the first half hour of this movie. It's so good. But he is to find out, was it a family friend? Was it one of his closest allies? Was it a family member himself who has betrayed him? And that is basically his journey and what he's trying to discover this entire movie. As well as he's dealing with several other conflicts in regards to him and his wife, and him and several family friends that have known him and his father Vito. And that is the other storyline that is going on simultaneously in this movie. We are seeing the young Vito Corleone, who in this movie is played by Robert De Niro, a very young Robert De Niro here. He's playing young Vito, and we see young Vito arrive in Ellis Island in New York in the early 1900s. And then we start to see him grow as he gets his, marries, starts having the children that we know from the first Godfather, and tries to make a name for himself and basically sort of achieve the American dream that he set out to accomplish when he first arrived in Ellis Island, when he first arrived in New York. And that is what is so great about Godfather Part 2. I love how they keep cutting back and forth between Michael and young Vito and his effort to strive to make a name for himself and become the Vito Corleone that we know as Marlon Brando from the first Godfather. And that is what is so fascinating to me about Godfather Part 2. Now guys, getting into my overall thoughts on Godfather Part 2. First off, it is so hard to make a sequel to one of the greatest films of all time. You guys know how hard that is? Look at Back to the Future and Back to the Future Part 2. Look at the Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Indiana Jones trilogy, which, that's been done. It can happen. I still haven't seen Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, but everyone says that's better. Okay, so it is very difficult, but it can be pulled off to make a sequel better than the first movie. And I must say this much, The Godfather Part 2 is just... It's great. It's great, guys. It's The Godfather Part 2. It's the continuing saga of one of the greatest crime families in the history of cinema, okay? And it's told, it's written, it's directed, it's acted in such an incredible way. This movie is the pinnacle of the entertaining gangster crime drama film, okay? That is what the first two Godfather movies are. And I'm going to say this much about The Godfather Part 2. Alright, this is a damn good sequel. Okay, this is one of the best sequels we've probably ever had. I'm not denying that. However, do I feel this movie is better than the first one? Oh, I don't think so, guys. I love the first Godfather. Like, I really love that movie. Okay, that's like in my top 5 probably. If not my top 5, that's in my top 10. Okay, that is one of the most flawless films ever made to this date, okay? And while The Godfather Part 2 is essentially a near flawless film, I think it is literally right below the first Godfather. Now, I am not giving this movie smack. I'm not saying this is an inferior movie. No, I'm saying this movie almost comes onto the level of Godfather, of the first Godfather. It almost did for me, guys. And that just tells you what a great job the screenwriters did. Francis Ford Coppola and Mario Puzo, who both wrote the first one. And I believe, yeah, they both wrote this one as well. For Coppola's work behind the camera. The actors that he is able to pick for these roles. I mean, some of these actors are giving career best performances in these movies. Like, that is extremely, if that isn't extremely skilled direction, and if that isn't a director with an immense amount of patience working with a ton of extras and working with some of the best names in Hollywood, then I don't know what good direction is, because that is what Francis Ford Coppola is able to do with these movies. Now, guys, one of the best things, and I've probably said this like twice already since I started shooting this video, but one of the best things working for this movie is again that back and forth that goes between the Michael Corleone storyline of the present day and the Vito Corleone storyline of the past. And why that's such an important aspect of this movie, it's because it ties in so perfectly to the end of this movie and to the present day. That is why it's necessary. Like, some people may sit and watch this movie and say, why do we need to see Vito Corleone rise to power when he was a young boy? Why do we need to see him make a name for himself? I think it's relevant because it adds an extra layer, an extra level of dimension to the character that we loved so much from the first Godfather. Now, one of my biggest complaints with the first Godfather, although it's a flawless movie, is that we did not get to see enough of Marlon Brando in that role. But that's Al Pacino's movie, in my opinion. This movie is Al Pacino's movie, but Godfather Part 2 is Al Pacino's movie. Yes, it's continuing his saga. It's showing the struggles he's undergoing while he's trying to basically smoke out the one who betrayed him and discover who it is. He's dealing with family stuff. He's dealing with rival business partners, one of which may have tried to kill him early in this movie. But this is also so incredibly told. The story of Vito is also so incredibly told in this movie. It's so important, and it just adds so much about this character that we all knew and loved from the first Godfather. It shows the struggles he went through as a child. It shows how courageous he was and how determined he was to make a name for himself and become the best at what he became, being the Don, the head Don of the Corleone crime family. And that is just some of the best praise I have to give that storyline. It is so well shot, well written. It is filled with exciting moments, and that's one of the best bits of praises I also had to give The Godfather Part 2 in general. Like the first Godfather, that movie had so many moments that just surprised me. Not necessarily twists, but just like really exciting, somewhat tension-riddled moments that you just don't see coming. Like, they literally come out of left field. There's a car bomb in the first Godfather movie. I did not see that coming out of anywhere. There are 2 murders in this movie that I did not see coming out of anywhere. And they're so well built up with tension and the use of shots and the blocking of the actors, and it's just some of the best praise I have to give The Godfather Part 2. This is entertainment filmmaking at its near finest. That is one of the best praises I am going to give Godfather Part 2. This is the essential, just entertaining gangster storyline that we all deserve as moviegoers and movie lovers. And that's why I love Godfather Part 2 as much as I do. Let's get into the performances real quick, because I really feel I need to discuss them. Al Pacino and Robert De Niro kill it in this movie, okay? Al Pacino, man, I mean, he is just... I love when this guy explodes, alright? When he explodes, it's like the coolest thing ever, alright? Because when Al Pacino breaks down, and there is so much riding on his shoulders in this movie. Like I said, rival business partners that he can't trust, family members he can't trust, friends he can't even trust, court hearings that are trying to find him guilty for various murders that took place in the first Godfather. That's another thing I love seeing in this movie. I love the courtroom scenes because it shows that gangsters themselves are not going to get away with murder, literally. They are not just going to just breeze through it and have their own men kill their rivals. They are going to be held responsible for it, and I love how this movie portrayed that. But there is so much riding on Michael Corleone's shoulders in this movie, and when the littlest of things happen just sets him off edge, it's some of the best things to watch. I mean, there is something like a secret that is inadvertently revealed by one of the main characters, and Michael Corleone's in hearing distance. That reaction shot is incredible. His reaction shots to everything in this movie, Al Pacino's just incredible. One of his best performances to date. I don't know if he was better in this movie or the first Godfather. This might be his best Godfather performance, in my opinion. It's great. Like, he was great in that movie. He had great moments in that movie. But this movie, he just takes things to a whole new level. Now, let's talk about Robert De Niro in this movie, who had not yet been like the hit actor that we saw him in Taxi Driver. This is pre-Taxi Driver, 2 years before Taxi Driver, and that is probably his best performance to date. Like, I have to see some of his other movies, but that's freaking Taxi Driver. This movie, I love this Robert De Niro performance so much because not only did he portray Vito Corleone to a tail, like, he nailed everything about this man, but he added so much to this character, brought so much to the table. It's so satisfying to watch him literally capture the spirit that Marlon Brando captured all the way back in the first Godfather. De Niro captured his mannerisms, he captured the accent, that very, like, harsh voice, like that "Oh, Michael," like that kind of voice, he captured that so beautifully well, and he even started to look like a young Marlon Brando at some point in this movie, and I just have to give De Niro all the praise in the world for that. I love his character actions, I love the path his character went down, I love just seeing the journey his character had to take. That is one of the most fascinating story elements of this entire series so far. Let's see, we have other incredible performances from Robert Duvall. I think he had better work to do in the first Godfather, but he is great, again, reprising the role as Tom Hagen in the movie. Diane Keaton is also very good in this movie as Michael's wife, and a really great newcomer in the movie. I think his name is Vincent M. Gazzo. I'm going to check my notes just to double check that. I don't want to... Michael V. Gazzo. That's his name. I do not want to get his name wrong. He plays the character Frank Pantagellini. I know I'm butchering that last name and that character, but he is just so Italian in this movie. It's incredible. Okay, guys, I'm personally Italian. Okay, and to just see these characters just, I don't know, like, acting Italian and speaking Italian, it's just like, it's so fascinating for me to watch, personally. And he is so great in this movie. He also got nominated for Best Supporting Actor along with De Niro. A couple others got nominated for Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress. The actress playing Connie got nominated. Al Pacino got nominated. Unfortunately did not win, which he should have because he was so good in this movie. But yeah, Michael V. Gazzo is, wow, it's incredible in this movie. So yeah, the cast, everyone is on the top of their A game in this movie, guys. The film is very well directed by Francis Ford Coppola. I mean, I love how he was so successfully able to set up these two different storylines that are like different in ways, but also sort of similar in the same way, and they sort of like one branches off into the other. Vito's storyline branches off into Michael's storyline and becomes essential towards the final scene of the movie. And you finally say to yourself, this is why we needed this story to be told before us. Coppola did a great job directing both. There are an immense number of extras in this movie, and I take notice in that. Whenever a director is dealing with a plethora of extras that are also like just doing their job correctly, like that's just like one of the best praises I have to give Coppola in this movie. But his actors are on point. They are delivering his lines perfectly. His shots are well set up and composed. The cinematography is incredible in this movie. Everything is just working perfectly. The film editing, I love how they cut back and forth between these different storylines. They do it in such a way where it's never confusing. Yeah, in the beginning they have to tell you, oh, this is Vito Corleone and this is Michael Corleone, like, here's Vito's storyline. 10 minutes later, we're cut back, here's Michael. Like, they don't need to tell me that, like, I get what's going on, but they eventually stop doing that, and they are able to have these two storylines going on at the same time in such a great way where we don't even need that to happen anymore come the end of the movie, and that's great. But the film ending is great. For sure. I love the score of this movie. Just that Italian just sort of theme that's going on. Oh, I love it. Another thing, this movie has great production value in my opinion. One of the best things going for Godfather Part 2 is how convincing they made this movie look like it was actually set in the 1910s during Vito's storyline, or set in the 1950s when they go to Cuba, and the costume design and all that adds to it. Where they shot the movie, production value, all of that really, really works for me with The Godfather Part 2. And ultimately, one of the best things working with The Godfather Part 2 is the screenplay, guys. Okay, the writing in this movie is just pure brilliance. All right, it's cinematically just, it's movie making entertainment at its finest, working out amongst us on the movie screen. Okay, that is the screenwriting magic of The Godfather Part 2. I think both of these movies have two of the best screenplays ever written, in my opinion. Because not only are they able to successfully surprise us with character actions that we may or may not see coming, or character decisions, or immense conflicts that have so many high stakes for all of these characters. But one of the best things that I love so much about the Godfather Part 2 screenplay, and even the first Godfather screenplay, are the themes that are so accurately portrayed in this movie. Namely, just the fact that betrayal and sort of a lack of trust is so high in this movie. Just the importance of family and how important family and friends are at difficult times of one's life, and how you always have to sort of sleep with one eye open and you can't trust those that may or may not give off bad vibes to you, alright? I love how this movie is a great statement on if you work your ass off and you strive to become successful, you can hit your lowest low, and that's what happens to Vito Corleone in this movie. He's at his lowest low point right before he goes to Ellis Island, and he rises up to the top, and when he goes back to Italy in this movie, holy shit, that is some of the most satisfying filmmaking, screenwriting just done in general, in my opinion. Alright? The screenplay is so intricately complex and so well crafted, with so many different plot lines going on, and I don't think there's one moment where you just say, oh, I'm bored watching this, like I don't want to watch this anymore, okay? You cannot take your eyes off the screen as you're watching the movie. The conflicts are that impressive, they're that threatening, you know, the characters are that great, the performances are that good, the directing is that good, and that is just some of like everything I love about The Godfather Part 2. The ending is incredible. The final 10 minutes of this movie, man, holy crap, that is some of the most satisfying moments in the entire movie and in the entire series. I love The Godfather Part 2, guys. This is one of the best sequels we have ever had. I am going to go very high for my rating for Godfather Part 2. I am going to give this movie a solid grade of a 9.5 out of 10. Or a grade of an A. The only reason why I did not go all the way with that rating is that, like the first movie, even though I think this movie needed to deal with it better, I feel there's a little bit too many characters in the first half of the movie. It's sort of hard to like discern which character is which, and you sort of forget names of characters, so you're like, oh wait, I gotta go back, oh yeah, that character's that character, that character's that character. That's one of the only problems I had going into the movie. I also feel, and this isn't, I'm not gonna hold this against the movie, because I was satisfied enough with the storyline, but I wanted to see more of Vito, okay? I mean, that's just great, okay? Like, just, oh my goodness, like we didn't see enough of him in the first one, acting as the Don. I wanted to see more of him acting as the Don in this movie. I think Niro pulled it off in an impeccable performance, in my opinion. But those are my thoughts on The Godfather Part 2. One of the best sequels, in my opinion. I still love Godfather 1 just a little bit more, but it is a damn near extraordinary sequel, in my opinion. That is some of the best forms of cinematic entertainment that you could ever ask for. So guys, those are my thoughts on The Godfather Part 2. That's my old movie review. Guys, what do you think of The Godfather Part 2? Let me know your thoughts on the movie down below in the comments. I thank you guys so much for watching my review, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.